Hello everyone on stream. I don't know Korean unfortunately, so I'll talk to in English, introducing our great players. And the first one in the bottom right, playing as a red Protoss, it's Spatz or Spatz if you're German. And his opponent, cross spawning in the upper left, it's Danish player Spacey Mazy or Spazzy Mazy. I have no idea basically how his name goes, but hope Spacey Mazy will be fine. Yeah, the scene should be fine. Of course, there is a 2 minute delay, so just to remind everyone watching. Oh, is it?
Game paused.
A little bit of technical issues. I'm not sure what happened.
Game resumed.
Continuing. A little bit of technical issues for the start, just to speed things up, spice spice everything a little bit. As you see, there's a forge, so extremely interesting start for this best of five. Of course, this IndyK Trovo weekly edition. So we have every week we meet and play. There are 4 players, two semifinals playing. It's basically 2 best of 5s and 1 best of 7. Best of 7 grand final. And today this first semifinal starts really well for Spacey Mazy, our Zerg player. Is not letting his opponent take advantage of him in the start, making his third expansion in a different spot. Of course, there is also expansion in the. For now, this second expansion will not be an option for our Blue Zerg player, who's making additional links. Speed on the way. His opponent on the other side of the map is building expansion. So he's also playing economically. The first adept joining the battle. The Zerg player is trying to get rid of this cannon, but of course there's a little bit of poking here, as the probe provides vision for the cannon. Oh, it was too soon. One drone has been lost, but for now, Spacey looks fine. I'm not sure what happened. I hope it won't happen again, because uh, I don't really have such problems that StarCraft 2 is lagging like this. It's very unusual. And as you see, our Zerg player is trying to
Glorious
defend against
combat is upon
the
us.
early adept and scouting Protoss base. So the adept will be captured. And for now, the pressure of Protoss has been weakened. Of course, there is an early immortal with War Prism, so an interesting decision, definitely. I wonder if you guys have problems with connection, because it looks for me that there's everything fine, but I'm just now receiving an information. Okay, I think it should be fine right now. So a quick robotics bay, double immortal drop, an interesting choice definitely for for the Protoss. The Zerg will have to defend against this. So I wonder if just massive amounts of links will do really well against it. So for now, these links are not enough to fight against these heavy guns. Hello everyone on stream, hello everyone tuning in today. I know it's a DreamHack season, so maybe some of you guys are watching the DreamHack stream, but thanks for everyone who's joining. For now, there isn't much damage done by this War Prism, but he's still looking for some. He's forcing a lot of units from Zerg, so of course this is an indirect damage. First Colossus entering, just now finishing. The two adepts, of course, able to catch a few drones, which is also an interesting option. Very useful units. Now the Disruptor is being built. We are waiting for choice of Protoss, because it looks like Protoss is committing to this pressure and not making any just now third expansion for Protoss. So maybe he's not as committed as heavily. But of course, it's a delayed expansion. It's not as quick as it would be. Definitely quite a few units, but of course, Zerg also has quite a few units, and we'll see how well Protoss defends against this army. Of course, the links will prevent third expansion for some time from Protoss. It's quite a few Zerlings. I don't think you want to fight with your immortals like that, because they don't do an effective trade. Trying to catch an observer, but it's not the case here. It's very unlikely to do that. So it was mostly a dream. And now Protoss goes for an attack, losing two immortals. Nice damage. Cannot build a third expansion, so he's basically forced to do a massive attack. And of course he has less in supply, but the composition might do something. There are two disruptors, so of course they can do well against basically anything. Now the Protoss proceeding on the creep. Definitely a tough spot to fight. And now the Zerg is surrounding Protoss, throwing buys very hard to move in. I don't think the Zerg can fight anymore here. Of course the Biles, the Novas are crucial here. But I don't think Protoss find what he was looking for. Even though Zerg lost a significant amount of units. So this commitment from Zerg to actually trying to catch Protoss was not effective. And those links are actually extremely effective, preventing Protoss' third expansion. But it looks like Protoss has the composition he needs. And now we will look forward to see what the micro will be. For now, very Very nice for Protoss, but I don't think the Zerg wants to commit that much because the Zerg is losing too many units off creep, and Protoss is actually even on limit and has the superior composition. So it looks really well for Protoss. I think Protoss have made it, and is a decision. GG for in our welcome to our second game of this best of five. And this Protoss player from Germany in the bottom right corner, red Protoss player who's actually up one map will try his best on light shade. It's of course it's Spats or Spats. I think like many players are more familiar with this name, and his opponent cross spawning, trying to defeat him, but unfortunately for him, he didn't succeed in the previous game. It's Spacey Mazy with spawning pool. Some of you have written me messages, but for now I hope the message sound won't interrupt that much because I've silenced my browser. Okay, so what are you guys here talking about in some Slavic language? I don't understand it. Okay, so Nexus, no quick forge as in the previous game. So Spats is not doing anything too crazy. His opponent can take his natural expansion very easily. No interruptions, no crazy stuff. Now the hatchery, of course, close to finishing. For those of you who listen on in radio, I'm just saying everything that's happening so that you guys can visualize things better. The second adept, the first adept just now shading across the map, probably trying to save the probe, but the probe actually died just now. The probe basically decided to go in a way so that it would be killed. Now the first adept will shade into the main base, looking for some drones, but there is for now very quick and very effective micro by Zerg, so not much damage have been done. Just now, the first blood by the Adept, two drones, and Adept manages to escape with half of his health. The first Adept that actually went before but didn't manage to kill any drones survived with a little health points because of course Protoss player used the recall ability, which made it possible. It was very close, but of course the Adept managed to escape. Oh boy, I hope it's not the case here. I hope the scene was right. It would be very unfortunate if it was otherwise. Okay, so the Overlord is endangered and will most likely be sniped. I don't think the links are enough to prevent it, even though they were on time to actually do some damage to those units. So now the Adepts are shading. The links are trying to catch them, but of course the Prism picks them. And as you guys of course can see, Roach Warren finishing, and quite a few roaches will appear shortly on Light Shade, trying to kill Protoss. We'll see how well he manages. There are two extractors, and the interesting thing is that the second extractor is in a third base, so it's very unlikely to be scouted. So we can assume that Zerg is trying to sneak some strategies. Okay, so Spatz is committing to a push with double immortal. Of course, he has a war prism and quite a few gateway units. But of course the units the units of Zerg have the quantity advantage. And now we will see how well he manages to snipe those immortals. Actually, the prism is on in the right place, in the right moment, to save those immortals and prevent them from prevent the roaches from killing the crucial units. Okay, so now the second combat, important to not use those immortals and of course the prism. I think that now it's very hard for Protoss, but the Zerg doesn't have that much. But of course there is no reinforcement, so Zerg should be fine at that point, catching those immortals and finishing the rest. As you guys can see, the wall, so Protoss was quite committed to this. 10 workers less, and now he's being pushed away. But he's not as committed. The links are on the way, so those units should be intercepted. There's War Prism just now, so it was quite late. But the Blink Stalkers, it's not the Blink Stalkers, it's just Stalkers. So they won't be able to stalk anyone for now. To stalk any of the links. Now you can see there is quite a bit of an advantage from Zerg, who managed to develop his economy quite well. Saturated 3 bases, excluding gases, which are only 3 gases out of 6 available. I'm sorry for this incident. I forgot to switch the scene. I was so busy actually solving other issues with stream. So I forgot about. I don't know how it happened. I haven't really forgotten about switching scenes in any on the of the series. So now the third expansion, heavy commitment for the E-model, but the third base is very likely to be killed. There's a cancel, so of course saves Protoss saves quite a bit of money to actually rebuild this base very quickly. The War Prism is still trying to deny creep and catch a few drones if possible. Those things are looking for some damage but not finding it just now after this expansion. Now the War Prism will probably look for the links that are doing the guerrilla tactics. The War Prism arrives in the main. The problem is that there are mutas on the way. The hallucinated Phoenix provides information about the Spire. And now there are mutas, which can be very deadly for an unprepared Protoss. There's another trick I've just learned very, very recently. There's an undefended third expansion, so mining will be delayed just now. So the composition-wise, Protoss is very strong, but looks like the Zerg has advantage in numbers. And the mutas arrive. What the bios will be, I don't think the snipe of the warp is a very important thing. And now the Space Mazy succeeds in taking the second map. Welcome back to our series, to our first semi-final. And this Protoss player spawning in the upper right as a red Protoss player, of course it's Spats. His opponent who managed to tie a series 1-1 It's a blue Zerg player, Spacey Mazy. Hello to everyone joining on us on our stream. Hope you'll have a great time listening to me talking, to me trying to explain what's happening. As far as I see, most of you are most of our viewers are Polish. I wish I knew something in Polish to say, but I unfortunately I can speak only English. Is this the fake cannon rush or the actual cannon rush? It's the fake cannon rush. Okay, but the Zerg didn't really react anything at all. Just a typical Zerg, very typical Zerg, doing his everyday droning every day like a casual Zerg. The cybernetic score, there's no forge like in the first game, so Spats decided to actually forfeit this strategy. It was a winning strategy, so it's interesting. Robotics facility. So Spats is not deciding for anything like Stargate, or I don't think he did Twilight Council in any of the previous games. I don't remember seeing Twilight Council in the previous two games. So he likes the robotics facility a lot. The first adept is looking for some damage, shading backwards, but in the meantime killing links. The second adept is on the way, so there are two adepts, and now the third unit will be Stalker. The two adepts are quite a firepower, one-shotting, of course, links and drones. There is a loss of one adept, which is not a nice thing. Protoss losing a gas unit, and of course Protoss doesn't have many units in the beginning. As you guys see, there's only one gateway. Now it looks like the second adept will be picked, but not by the links. Is the warp is the warp is who picks adept. The rings are rushing for information, but not finding anything irregular. Just the same. Two immortals and a warpism. Continues pro production. Just now a forge. So of course an interesting unit, interesting build order from Protoss. Immortal drop, which is I think unlikely. Very powerful against roaches, but very hard to deal with massive amounts of links, which can be very deadly, very hard to counter, hard to actually fight effectively with those immortals. Just catching small groups maybe, but in an open field very hard. So just now two roaches have been killed. The roaches are the main target here, because of course they cost a lot of resources and they're armored, so immortals deal a massive damage against them. Very heavy DPS and of course uh, very heavy damage. So immortals can snipe roaches and escape. Important, very important not lose this prism because because if the prism is lost, the immortals will have to be recalled, or they will be of course surrounded by links, and their time will be counted. Now it looks like he might be able. No, he's not able to catch the war prism, but the one immortal has been left behind. As Protoss players, I thought they left no man behind, but the immortal was left behind. So probably they thought that he's immortal and he's gonna be fine, but unfortunately, it's just a name. He's found dead very shortly after. Very nice force field saving a lot of Protoss units. Very solid defense with force field heavy army, and of course immortals. There's not so much to deal with links, but very nice force fields, very nice not composition, but the position. But of course zealots deal with links quite well when they have a good position. Links are trying to catch the immortal, and they've managed to succeed. The double immortal drop continues to look for damage, but not finding anything just now, as there are links and queens. Just now we see Templar archives, 2 additional gateways, so we might see some shiny units. Things are running across the map looking for some guerrilla damage, for some guerrilla tactics. So Protoss is committing on creep. There's quite a few strong units catching those queens. For now, the rest of the Spacey Mazy army is actually not doing anything. The important thing is that the third expansion receives damage, and the war prism has been picked, so has been destroyed. So there are no more reinforcements for now. But of course, this army is quite heavy. The expansion looks to be sniped as the zealots, as the Protoss player runs out of zealots. The links will be a deadly, powerful threat. But for now, the recall is very quick, and even the most damaged immortal survives. So Protoss didn't lose as much as he could. 4 immortals are still in the game. The war prism arrives to replace the previous war prism that was sniped very quickly. 11 Muras on the way, so a very heavy commitment. There are Archons just now, so they might be able to fight quite a bit, but of course the 11 12 Muras are quite a firepower. They might be able to deal quite well against these 2 Archons, but for now we are looking for some trades. That now it's going to be very hard. Catching the war prism and now fighting straight fight against those Archons. Probably not the right choice to fight against those Archons, but of course catching some units of guard. Just now losing some of those Muras. I don't think the trade was well for Spacey Mazy. Now the reinforcements will arrive shortly, and it looks like the Zerg has been destroyed quite heavily. Has been purified with Protoss heavy power. Of course, this isn't a powerful army, and there will be quite a few links arriving just now, but those light bolts, shining blue, are still deadly. One of them is shining not so heavily and has been destroyed, so now the power has been divided by 2. But I don't think anything for the Zerg to defend. it's 2-1 for Spats. Welcome back to our fourth game. In the upper left, spawning as a red Protoss, it's Spats, and his opponent, spawning in the bottom right as a blue Zerg, it's Pazy Mazy. So of course, two powerful players striving to win the game. In the previous game, very tough attack by Spats. So definitely this player has quite a few strong attacks in his pockets. Expansion of Zerg is delayed, so of course the Zerg. So of course for the Zerg is just like blocking the expansion. The Zerg decides for another base, so it will be harder for the Zerg. Very unfortunate, uh, very hard, very annoying strategy for Zerg players, which is hatchery block. For now, very typical start from our both players. So now we are likely to see a third expansion in the place of natural. The adept will be the first unit to appear and try to harass Zerg player, looking for some kills. The drone is tickling those drones, slapping those drones with 5 damage worth attack. So not so I wouldn't say the Zerg suffered at all. It's just an itch. The drones will regenerate. Now the second adept is joining the first one, but of course quite a few Zerlings from Zerg. So as you guys can see, he has less drones than Protoss has probed, so there's less mining. In minerals there are even, but Protoss mines gas, so tech-wise he's going to develop much quicker. The problem will be the massive amounts of links, which are just now evolved to speed links. Very heavy, very tough. I think it might be very decisive moment as we see how well Protoss actually walls off. Quite a few important units, but many Zerlings have been pushed to this side of the wall. There isn't any. I think the warp prism will be used. Of course, he's catching those units. He's walling off. The problem is that he doesn't have any production, so there won't be any more units for now for Protoss. He's rebuilding this cybernetics core very quickly, but it still looks like a very hard defense. Now the links will very quickly destroy this gateway and rush and surround the Protoss units and actually force the quick victory for our Zerg player. So he actually ravaged his opponent. He actually managed to quickly deal massive amounts of damage. Of course, the double immortal is very heavy damage. I don't think those drones are where they should be. So I thought it's a game-ending damage for Zerg, but it looks like Zerg hasn't committed to finishing his opponent, and Protoss player has, of course, these immortals, which are super effective, as you guys can see. 14 kills and 11 kills, and now we will see how well Zerg player plays against this kind of harassment. So Protoss player is still in the game. I thought it's the end because of the massive links amounts and Protoss lack of production. But of course, the 2 immortals will be enough to clean up the first force. And now there isn't any defense for the Zerg, so it's actually quite heavy for the Zerg, quite heavy damage. There isn't much to defend those immortals. There are quite a few nice spots to actually hide against those links to find yourself a better spot. There is this one queen. He's not losing any immortals. Very important to not lose any immortals, as they are very costly. The disruptors will be the next unit that Protoss will build. Of course, Queen is looking to focus on this War Prism and eventually snipe it, as it's the most important thing. Double immortal, of course, manages to do even more than it was supposed to in the beginning. Of course, scales. This strategy scales very well as Protoss continues to do damage, but for now decides to retreat and change the units he's gonna use. I wonder if it would be a wise choice to make a speed for this War Prism. I'm not sure. I'm not known with the numbers, so I don't know what the numbers exactly are of the War Prism speed. But I think it would prove effective in this situation. Definitely. Quite a few links have been sniped. Very nice snipe. Very nice Nova. Very nice Nova, I would say even. So of course the War Prism doesn't give up, keeps on trying. He might snipe some queens, but I feel like the War Prism will be the one that is sniped. I don't think it's the right choice to fight here, but still very nice. The problem is that the surround of the Zerg will be massive, and I feel like the damage is quite heavy. The Colossus will try to reduce the damage, but I feel like the Zerg it looked much worse for Protoss actually in the beginning. Now it looks also not so good, but definitely in the start it looked like Protoss is in quite a heavy danger, and now Protoss has quite a nice composition. The one Colossus actually doing some important work, very very strong conventional firepower. I wonder if he doesn't have an extended thermal lens, so looks like our Protoss player doesn't like the upgrade too much. Doesn't like upgrades from Robotics Bay. I think that there would be useful. Of course, if it's just one Colossus, it's not the thing you're looking for. But in a later game, it might be uh, it might scale well, and of course be prove to be a worthy investment. Now it's important not to lose the War Prism as the reinforcements will not arrive. Uh, Now the Protoss player is actually pushed away from creep. No third expansion for Protoss for now. Still on two bases, full wall. There isn't any space to sneak some links. I wonder if second Colossus would be a very tough decision, but of course the double disruptor is quite heavy as well. A lot of others, but some stalkers are being lost. Counter fire by disruptors, of course catching a few units as well, but I don't think the creep committing to creep is the nice option, because the Zerg has too much initiative on creep. Additional stalkers, stalker heavy army. Now the War Prism just barely survives. So quite a few stalkers. I think the links surround, and of course the War Prism is still in the battle. So of course the reinforcements may arrive shortly, but he decides to build them at home, as if he would be afraid to lose the prism if it stays on one location for too long time. Mostly stalkers in this composition. I feel like massive amounts of links would be deadly to it. Very hard to deal with. Of course, you have disruptors, but they are quite hard to control. Some units have been intercepted while trying to escape. Colossus is being rebuilt, so of course he's still investing in this unit. Oh, very nice Nova. That's what Protoss is looking for with those traits. So for now, it's very much strengthen. So both players are actually holding the line. Pretty much of a Nexus Wars. A little bit of back and forth from both players. Protoss is looking for some trades, but not trying not to commit too heavily on creep. The force fields are nice, separating most of the Zerg army. It looks like Protoss is very confident, and for now is finding very nice trades Still on the 2 bases in the 13th minute of the game. So a very intense combat. Zerg on 3 bases, but of course the larva thing is important. Of course Zerg gathers more because of that, as Protoss runs out of resources. But the important thing is how the battle goes, how the trades go. As Protoss may have less money, but the superior composition. The Colossus falls, so the most important unit is just now falling, and those massive amounts of Stalkers will not be as useful, as strong in the long run. Those guys trying to sneak, trying to push themselves through this, but for now Zerg succeeds, and the series are tied once more. Welcome back to our best of 5, and on Defora as a deciding map. In our bottom right, red Protoss player from Germany, it's Spatz. His opponent, cross spawning in upper left, playing as a blue Zerg from Denmark, it's Spacey Mazy. Will he succeed to defeat his Protoss opponent, or the Protoss opponent or Spatz will prevail and prove to everyone watching this stream that Protoss is actually the most powerful Imba race? To prove to everyone, if Protoss takes the third expansion, then he's able to do anything he wants. 3 base and undefeatable army. As one of the famous Polish players have said many times, and he's quoted to this day. He's retired, but of course his words uh, are with us forever. His wisdom is forever with us, as he shared it on Twitter. Bases from both players, so no sneaky tactics, which I'm probably not too much too fond of. I like sneaky tactics in the beginning, but 8 links is quite a commitment in economy. So of course the Protoss player sees those links and goes for the Zealot to provide himself with wall. What is fortunate is that this map has a nice place to wall, because you have space for three square buildings. I'm not sure if it's the correct way to describe it, but as you guys can see, this is a full wall from Protoss player. The Stalker will pop out shortly, so it will provide with some additional firepower, and this trade will prove to be very ineffective for Zerg. I don't know, maybe not very ineffective, but a little commitment and no damage, so not a heavy loss. A little loss, more likely. So it's a little bit of a difference because Spats decides for Twilight Council before a robotics facility, which is something we haven't seen too much of him. So definitely might be some of the difference. And this upgrade basically tells us that this will be a adept play, but of course it might be quite a few variations of it. Two gases, mining with two probes, so most likely it will be only adepts, no immortals added. Roaches on the other side will be hatched. Of course, the roach warren is the building that is the symptom of this composition. Of course, Spacey Macy likes the Ravager Link composition, which is sometimes it can be deadly for the Protoss, but in a two games I would say it's 50-50 power chance, but sometimes mutas are added, so it's not just Link Ravager Roach. Some adepts are flying this first class, and some adepts have to go on foot. So the first class not for everyone. Those three adepts were definitely from not a prominent family. They couldn't afford flying, and now the adepts are shading to Zerg's natural, or no, that it will be main, or no, it will be third. This is how Protoss player is basically playing. He tries to not only play with his opponent, but also play with caster and with viewers, which is basically what Protoss race is. Just now shading to the main base, catching quite a few drones for now. Quite a deadly damage because of course adepts are positioned in a way to kill a lot of drones because they are the only target for the adepts. They don't have to be uh, if they're positioned in a correct way. More adepts are arriving, but of course the Zerg has quite a few roaches and quite a few speedlings. The links are going for counterattack. It looks like Spats will try for a double-sided attack. We'll see how well Zerg copes with it. There isn't a powerful guard, but of course quite a few Zergs have been summoned. I thought it will be the main base and the third base at the same time, but Spats decides for a natural. The Warpism is helping. To kill, probably to kill some burrowed drones. That would be the only explanation that I can think of. So this stalker will try to reach his destination, but of course there's this building, there's this massive ball, there's this massive blue ball that is shining like a light bulb, which actually prevents. I thought there is a place to actually walk on as a stalker, but the Protoss engineers I haven't really think of it. And now the counterattack from the Zerg. there isn't anything from Protoss here, so it might be very, very powerful. There's a counter attack, and just now he's recalling his disruptor drop, but it feels like the third expansion will be cancelled, and there is and Protoss cannot really defend this expansion, so he will probably the massive Nova, which will probably change a lot. But of course the links are the problem, and of course the links can escape Novas. They can dodge Novas, but he didn't commit as much to to killing this expansion. I thought it might be the right option to delay Protoss economy, as we saw in the previous game that Protoss without the third expansion is basically uh, one one foot in his grave. It's the end of Protoss basically. It's a very powerful, very deadly Protoss, but one base Protoss is not a Protoss that will kill a Zerg. Now very powerful Nova, but Queens are Imba, and they're prevailing Novas. So of course you need two Novas to one shot those Queens. They instantly heal and they're now fully regenerated. So Ravagers are the first target for Novas. They are most costly. Now the additional adepts, the links, quite a few links, but they're not finding the damage they wanted. And now the Novas will regenerate shortly. There are 4 disruptors, so quite a few Novas. He can snipe anything he sees. And now the Mutas will arrive. Probably look to intercept reinforcements or maybe catch a prism. But it's GG, and Spats advances to a grand final of this Trovo IndyK Crew Weekly. Welcome to our second semifinal, which is this young player playing for team Alpha X from Russia. It's a yellow Protoss player, Exo Striker, and his opponent playing as a Blue Zerg and doing 12 pool. It's Solir playing for team Exxon, a Spanish player, of course. For those of you that don't know, two promising players. So we look forward to this second PVZ because the first semifinal was PVZ as well. Two PVZs today as semifinals, and we will see who advances to the grand final, who faces Spats, who defeated Spacey Mazy in the first semifinal. Very close series because 3-2. Of course, some of the games were pretty decisive, but they weren't in numbers in terms of maps. It looks really close, and the hatchery blocking the wall for a Protoss player. So and the reaction will be six probes that will try to tickle down the hatchery. The gateway in this place, very interesting. So that the links, of course, will have harder time trying to sneak past it. Additional links running across the map. So actually Solier is deciding for a very interesting approach and goes for a spine crawler. I haven't seen such a strategy for some time. Uh, so I'm a bit confused. Of course, the Zealot has been caught. The micro is nice, but the links, quite a few links have been lost. So of course, it can be better. And this spine crawler, I wonder what it will try to do because it's already losing health points. So I wonder if he will try to evacuate the spine crawler. The additional links are just now coming back, but this spine crawler has very limited time to live as his health points, as his creep runs dry. But it's enough. It is enough to succeed, and the Protoss player taps out from our first game. We'll come back with our second game of this series, and this Protoss player who actually didn't succeed defending in the previous game. We will see how well he defends now. It's Exo Striker, and his opponent doing the same strategy twice. It's Solir, Blue Zerg from Spain, doing doing the same strategy that won him the first game. He decides for a repetition. He's practicing the same strategy all over again. Well, of course, it's not. It doesn't have to be uh, a definitive all-in. It can be just a offensive opening, and of course the expansion. As we see now, there will be an expansion from Zerg, but he's hiding the drone, so he wants to confuse his opponent, who doesn't see the expansion. 8 links on the way, so of course Solir is trying to catch the probe. I thought he was trying to catch the probe and assure his opponent that it's a full all-in. It's not that there isn't an expansion behind it, and now the Protoss player knows that he has to defend, that he has to defend, but he doesn't have to uh, commit too heavily, because of course the Zerg used 300 minerals for the expansion. He won't have as many funds to build a massive amount of links, but of course this number of links is very dangerous. Just for now, a second Zealot arrives, and Protoss player will be fine for now, will be fine expanding, and both players are expanding, so the game is not ending too quickly. Now the Queen is marching towards the expansion. The links are returning home. So it's actually an investment Zerg player doesn't want to have, because of course the links are not gathering minerals. They're just eating supply. So they're just eating and pooping. They're not useful at all. And the drones would be a better choice. Now the double adept is going across the map, so those things might prove themselves useful in some time. But of course the double adept is a firepower that can snipe links. Looking for a catch of this adept. The micro is important at this point, because of course the adepts can do damage that will scale later. Of course, killing those few drones now will prevent Zerg from droning harder. But for now he decides to go back to his expansion. Doesn't commit too much. He's building an oracle, so he goes for. So he of course he went Stargate. As our previous Spats Protoss doesn't go for Stargate too often. It looks like Exostriker does it on the first map. Voider on the way to snipe off overlords. Of course, very very powerful heavy cannon, or maybe not a cannon, more like a laser. But now we'll see the green laser, the oracle, doing the Protoss things, which is surviving at low health points. Forge and the Twilight for now. So of course the third expansion for the Zerg has finished. Now the drones are coming. Drones are coming to start mining, and of course the Protoss prepares for taking the third expansion, for securing this location and making himself able to start his base. There's a cancel. Okay, so that probably there was a misclick from our Protoss player to cancel his expansion, but of course the 100 minerals, not the game-ending damage, I would say. course, there's a loss of 100 minerals, but not a damage that will decide the fate of this game. So this Oracle is doing the Protoss thing once more, which is surviving at low health points. Blink on the way, robotics facility in the third expansion, so immortals are likely to arrive sooner if they're needed. So quite a few links have been added. Melee upgrade just now coming. 3 drones, not a heavy damage, but of course he's catching anything he can. He's exchanging energy for minerals, which is of course cost efficient. Now he's looking for some information. Probably he will look for some additional drone kills, but looks like the spore crawler will prevent this from happening. Immortal production commences. Quite a few sentries. So of course there will be a lot of jelly on pillars of gold, separating Zerg units. Hydras on the way. 3 additional drone kills, very nice. Quite a few Hydras, of course. +1. I thought he cancelled it. I wonder what was it about, because I feel like a Zerg player cancelled uh, +1 range upgrade and went for +2 melee upgrade. Okay, so Protoss retreats for now, doesn't commit too much. So the Linkbane Hydra for the Zerg is not something we saw in the previous semi-final. We saw, of course, Linkbane, Roach Ravager, which is a different take on this matchup. But Exo Striker goes for double Colossi production, which is also something we didn't see in the previous semi-final. And now this massive army of Zerg marches across the map. But of course, this army will be doesn't have any spells, doesn't have anything other than the numbers advantage. This army has the quantity, but not the quality. The Protoss army has the quality, but not the quantity. So of course the two different approaches are clashing against each other. Extended thermal lens. So of course the Protoss player will have lenses for his Colossi. Some contact lenses to actually see better and shoot further. So for now, both players go back and forth. The damage has been dealt because the fourth expansion for Protoss is delayed. I wonder why Zerg didn't commit. Because it looks like he has the advantage and he has the numbers. I think he doesn't want to lose his army too quickly because he might be unable to. He doesn't have the bank at the moment to actually rebuild quickly. He's waiting for the creep, a wise decision. And of course, the Protoss player is very hard for the Protoss player to take the fourth expansion at this very moment. Or he might be. He knows there's this army marching across the map, and he's sending those things. I think he might be able to commit some more. He's actually going for it. killing the double oracle, killing the Protoss units that were actually too lucky, that got too lucky in this game. The 12 Corruptors will be the option to fight the Colossi, and we will see how the connections will go, and the connections will. Oh, and it's a heavy damage. The one, I think the one Baning, and it would be even more massive, but it's still 26 worker kills, very heavy damage. Zerg is maxed out. Just now will be gathering bank for a quick remaxing. But I feel like the army he has will be quite powerful. Quite a few. Of course, the force fields, the jellies will be important here. Quite a few jellies arriving. There isn't any place to sneak through for the Zerg. One lonely Colossus have been sniped very quickly, and the other two are very heavily damaged. Now the Zerg will probably look for a surround, but still quite a few force fields, quite a few jellies, I'm not sure if, I wonder if jellies are basically made out of bones. So I wonder how they extract this to make this such a big jelly as Protoss. Of course, 11 Hydras on the way, 9 Banelings. So Zerg, of course, can build quite a few units, as he has the numbers in economy. Now he's surrounding his opponent. It looks like the end for Exo Striker, and it is GG 2-0 for Solir. Decisive win. Welcome back to our third game of this series. Currently, this guy is struggling to win against his opponent, and of course, he's a yellow Protoss player from playing for Team Alpha X. It's Exo Striker, and his opponent, who's currently leading by 2 maps, a blue Zerg player, it's Solir. Actually, pretty decisive win in the previous game. It was about 12 minutes, so it wasn't a long game. And the important thing to look at now is that there isn't any 12 pool or anything like this. So there's a bit difference. He did it twice recently, so I feel like Exo Striker will look for it. Will actually try to prepare against it, against those quicklings that might be hatched quite quickly. But there isn't pool. There isn't anything like pool just now. And of course, in the previous game, as Probe was arriving in Zerg main base, the Lynx were already trying to catch it. So it was, of course, I wonder if there's a sound. I think sounds are quite well because I don't hear anything. But on the stream, yeah, on the stream I checked. You should guys have a very nice quality of sound, and the volume should be adjusted quite nicely, quite accurately. Let me check once more. Okay, everything works fine. Proceed with commentary. Very quick roach warren. So it might look like, and of course 18 workers, so not the one gas on one gas roach warren. A very interesting choice to make. At this point, quite a few links are marching across the map. They don't have speed. It doesn't look like they will have any speed. And of course, the first adept will see quite a few links. But I wonder what will be the decision of this adept, of Exo Striker, who commands this adept. The shield battery, which is a nice choice. He goes for the second gateway. He goes for robotics facility. I feel like he might be prepared for the roaches. There are not many roaches for now, but of course the problem might be that there will be ravagers throwing a satellite acid, throwing it from I don't know how they're throwing it, but basically they're doing it so high that it falls. Nobody knows where it falls from. Quite a few ravagers. The third ravager. I wonder. Of course, there's this observer. Now he goes for this. Yeah, he changes instantly for immortal, which is a nice move. Now the battery will provide Protoss with quite a few additional seconds, very valuable seconds, and now the batteries they won't catch this stalker for now. So of course now the Zerg doesn't commit anymore to this attack. As you guys saw, there is the third expansion, so Protoss knows that it's not a heavy attack. There won't be reinforcements. He needs to hold on quite nicely, because of course the Zerg doesn't commit too much to it, and he shouldn't lose too much mining time, too much buildings units, of course. And he goes for the speed to War Prism, so we might see some quick War Prism harassment. Lair on the way, and 4 gases. Quite a few gases for the Zerg. So for now, Exo Striker goes for Twilight Council. So I wonder what will be his follow-up. For now, of course, he has the Observer to see that there are. He knows there are 2 gases. He might just now see that there are 2 additional gases, so 4 gases, and even more 6 gases. Very quick 6 gases. So it looks like a very heavy roach play, but it also might be Spire. So of course, like 20, quite a few Mutalisks might be an option here. I wonder if he sees this Observer, if he's able to see such possibilities. Additional gateways are being added just now. No third expansion for Protoss player just now on the way. It looks like a heavy commitment to a push. Let's see how many resources that Solir have. Uh, it looks like 10 Muras or something, but of course it might be a few more. How many entire does Protoss have? Protoss doesn't have too much entire. There's 17 roaches. but of course there might be mutalisks added, as there's quite a lot of gas. He commits even heavier into building massive amounts of roaches, so he won't go for mutas. He will try to hold on against this strong Protoss composition. It's important he doesn't lose too much for Novas, and of course Exostriker will try to do as much with those Novas as possible. Nice Nova, but he loses this Raptor, so it's not as nice. There might be there are some biles, but of course Zerg is on creep, so it's much easier for the Zerg to catch these Raptors, and these Raptors cannot these Raptors, as you guys can see, cannot strike if they're in such position. They do a massive amounts of damage with those Novas, but it's enough. And Sawyer goes with 3-0 and advances to the grand final of this weekly cup. Welcome back with our grand final of this IndyK Trovo Weekly Edition, and this guy advancing from the first semi-final, playing as a red Protoss, is of course Spats, and his opponent playing as a blue Zerg from Spain, of course it's Solir. Solir managed to defeat Exo Striker in a 3-2 in a 3-0 series. His opponent is after a 3-2 winner. So of course Spats was much closer to actually being defeated in the semi-final. But of course Solir also faced a powerful opponent that could have defeated him. So Forge for the win, Forge for the start of the day. I wonder if Solir knows that Spats likes such strategies. He definitely likes it on this map, especially. But why is it romanticized? Maybe he thinks that I don't know, Cannon Rush is romantic or something. I don't know what he's thinking, but definitely. So the thing is that he can cancel his cannons now, and he doesn't lose too much at all. But of course, one cannon can be here to delay this expansion even more. But of course, I don't think if it would be a nice choice to build something up here to prevent vision. Of course, for now, 4 links. Important to not lose the vision on the high ground. Expansion behind this. Adept will arrive to the battlefield to romanticize, trying to kill a few drones, a few links. Second hatchery, so double hatchery from the Zerg as a response to this cannon rush gimmicks. So the second adept will try to reinforce the first one, and of course this photon cannon is important, is crucial to survive here. Of course, a heavy damage in this blockade. I wonder if he'll try to go for the drone kills or will focus on the or not losing the cannon. I feel he'll try to keep this cannon alive. So he will make a few more drones for now. This cannon is under attack and he's retreating after taking heavy damage from those links. So now they will try to keep this wall. 2 adepts here, so definitely there's no place for links to sneak in. There are too few links to actually. They managed to kill the first adept, but of course there's the second one, so definitely the optional decision for the Zerg is to retreat at the moment, making more drones, so definitely an economical choice. Just as Protoss, who also goes for this kind of decision. The second forge. I wonder what is the decision, why the second forge is being built. Maybe he forgot. I wonder if it's the double upgrades or something decision. Still, no natural expansion have been taken. Of course, there are three bases for Zerg, so it's quite nice on economy. The sentry is guarding this passage, and Protoss will actually go for a counter attack with double immortal. So definitely a powerful damage. Additional gateways. So of course Protoss is developing. The Zerg goes for Roach Warren. So double upgrades for Protoss is the reason why there are two forges. Quick upgrades, a nice choice, okay. So for now those immortals doing a little bit of sniping a few drones, but for now Spats decides to retreat, regenerate health points. And trying to strike at the different spot. Of course the observer is nice with clearing a bunch of creep tumors. The important thing is this defense, because of course you want to keep your expansion alive. He's fighting with drones. The warpies have been sniped. One immortal has been lost, so of course a heavy damage, heavy loss. Let's see, Zerg has 6 gases and goes for Spire. So I wonder if it will be a massive amount of Mudas arriving shortly. Fourth base in the place of a natural expansion, very interesting choice. So he has money for quite a few Mudas, but he doesn't use this Spire. Very interesting. He doesn't want to commit too many resources to Mudas for now. He actually prefers to go for a heavier Roach force, and of course with an addition of those links. It's important to kill the Warpins as quick as possible to prevent the additional Warpins. So Spats is intelligently keeping those Zealots at the back. And I think there were quite a few nice biles, losing a few of those sentries. So the jellies will be limited at this moment. Of course, quite a few zealots still here, so Lynx will have hard time dealing with those. Okay, so it looked much worse at the beginning, but of course the Protoss player summoned quite a few reinforcements and managed to kill the 4th expansion of the Zerg. So it's not as bad for the Zerg, of course, but it's a nice advantage for Protoss, definitely. Finish saturating the 3rd expansion, adding cannons to his bases, probably predicting that there may be Mutas coming to play. For now, very disastrous damage at the beginning, but it's important to keep those zealots alive, do not lose them in a choke point. And of course, very nice sniping of a queen. It's important for Solid to actually keep this point, because losing this lair and a 3rd expansion will be deadly for him. The Warpiece doesn't commit too much to not be sniped. But looks like he feels more confident as more roaches are actually killed, and he keeps his immortal count. But there are no reinforcements there are no zealots just now. Zealots are arriving. GG from Solier, and we'll proceed to the second game of the series. Welcome back to our second game of the series. Of course, I finished the introduction just now. In the bottom right, spawning as a red Protoss player, of course, it's Spats, who succeeded on the first map, and his opponent cross-spawning as a Blue Zerg. It's Solier, of course. Blue Zerg, who didn't succeed on the first map, lost the base, lost one base after the second, and it finished badly for him. Of course, it finished with a loss. Okay, so actually he sprayed his opponent's base with a diva. Or I wonder, or maybe it's Solier's spray. I'm not sure actually. I didn't see this act of vandalism from any of the players actually spraying this map. Adept is just now arriving. Robotics facility on the way, just making sure because I'm in one of the games my scenes didn't switch properly. Now it should be fine 100%. The second adepts are chrono boosted, so actually the quick two adepts are able to achieve a bit. Four more links, of course. So quite a bit of DPS if of course the Protoss unit is surrounded. If not, this DPS is significantly smaller. If just one link attacking at a time. And of course, so the warpism will shortly arrive. It looks like Adept will decide to retreat. Of course, the warpism unloads his package, which consists of two adepts. So he decides to go for the main base with those two adepts. He's taking quite a few attacks from those queens, looking for some drone kills, but doesn't find any at the time. 5 gateways been added. Not so much of a gas mining. So it looks like there is no Twilight Council. So it's interesting. I wonder if it wouldn't be the best choice to actually go for a glaive or something and then commit to attack. But what can I know about this? Additional two adepts are warped just now. Quite a few Zerlings, so of course there will be heavy force opposing this Spat's army. The surrounds are important, but of course there will be one or two jellies. Okay, so the third base is likely to being sniped. Nice pickups. The links are actually he got rid of the links. Now the third base is gone, so it's two base against two base. The lair on the way. Two immortals still alive. Additional zealots are being warped in, so an interesting choice. They don't shoot, but of course they have quite a few hit points. As you guys can see, Zealot has 150 and Adept has, let's see, like 120. So that's a significant difference. It's like a difference of a marine. So those double immortal drop, which is interesting choice. I wonder why Spats is so stuck to it. He does it almost every game. Now there is a Twilight Council, so it will be probably a follow-up to his units. He keeps on killing those links. He's unloading his immortals in position so that they keep on harassing Zerg army. But of course he also fights on the main front on the main flank. He's just now retreating as he knows that the Zerg force is growing too strong. It's Templar Archives and charge on the way. So too late for glaives, as there's a nice creep spread and quite a few roaches. Overseer, so he keeps on looking for these spots that he can hit. Third base for Spats. He's building additional zealots. Let's see how many immortals are there. 4 immortals, quite a few of them. Yeah, so those immortals are actually killing quite a few units. The charge is close to finishing, so those zealots will prove themselves to be super useful. Now it's important to look at the Bailings count, which is actually just now starts growing. Quite a few links on the way. Bysal landing, but of course the reinforcements will continue arriving as this Protoss force keeps on growing. The composition is actually heavy. Immortals, quite a few immortals. Archons are actually super effective against links, and the zealots are the meat that actually clears the opponent. The link counterattack. 10 probes have been killed just now. Okay, so the zealots are just now dead. So they have been killed by the green uh, by the green jelly inside of Bailings that poured on them. It looks like the Zerg has the numbers, and the Protoss doesn't have enough to actually retreat even. He loses the third expansion, he loses on the main front. It looks like he's losing everything. But of course he's retreating. Zerg player doesn't chase him, which is an odd decision. I feel like he would have won straight away. But of course he's building additional forces. He's adding larvas. He will try to reinforce and strike at the better moment. Storm on the way. So of course it will be a follow-up, but I don't think that the Protoss can recover from this situation. Far behind in workers, and of course he doesn't have the numbers to stop this Ravager heavy force. There's this double immortal drop. Of course, can be very powerful, can be very deadly, but it looks like it will be killed by Biles. No, it actually moves past them, so it looks quite well just now. Okay, so massive amounts of links are just now running across the map. This observer is just now seen, but it's not the important threat for Zerg. The important thing is how well this battle will go. But I don't think the Protoss player has the possibility to win. But the Psionic Storm will be the important thing here, trying to turn the tides of battle. But I don't think the tides are turnable now because of the how far behind the Zerg is, how far behind the Protoss is. The Zerg is actually far ahead. But of course, you cannot underestimate the power of this composition of the storm, the power of the so heavy of this electric Protoss army, of these light bulbs, of this paralytes. It's GG 2-1. It's actually a tight series 1-1. Welcome back to this best of 7. And this guy who actually lost the previous game but is striving is of course the red Protoss player spawning in the upper right corner. It's Spats. His opponent spawning in the bottom left, who actually managed to win the previous game, is of course the Blue Zerg Solier. So the high ground pylon looks like the one base cannon rush. So of course an interesting start. Forge as the second building. I wonder if he saw this prop. I don't think he saw. A nice spot actually to build to hide some buildings here, as the Protoss is the race to a race for winners. Forge is just now finishing cybernetic score, so it's a full. It looks like a full wall, but I wonder if a link could sneak in just barely. Photon cannon on the way. I wonder if when he will see that there is this pylon. He knows there is this photon cannon, so he goes for the second geyser. Probably some Roach Warren, and of course the Ravagers are pretty heavy and effective force against such threat. Additional cannons. I wonder if it's like when will it be some Robobay? I feel like those cannons are quite far. Or no, the photon cannon is covered by the building photon cannon is covered by the first photon cannon, and the robotics facility is being built just now. So of course a one base pressure, one base basically all in, one base game. So it looks very interesting. I wonder how well the players will play. I think it's the kind of game that is very often played. Roaches will finish shortly. This cannon of course is finished just now, and now is fully regenerated with his shields. Very very powerful building, the most powerful building in the game, I suppose. That shoots and of course is regenerated like a powerful unit that doesn't cost supply. Additional shield batteries, so of course the unit that comes out of this robotics facility will be undefeatable. He tries to kill this photon cannon, but there is so many batteries that it's actually fully regenerated. I think it's very bold move. I think it's too much. I think it might be too much for this immortal to actually go here, but Solier doesn't have the numbers to actually fight this. The Warpism will arrive shortly and will prevent this immortal from being killed. Okay, so now dodges one round of shots. Now a slow reaction, so he takes quite a few shots on himself. Now there is nice micro preventing all the shots. So Solier should now diversify his fire rate. And of course there is a queen to attack the war prism, but of course the queen might be the target. I don't think he has the numbers here to fight as Zerg player. With roaches against immortals, there will be a third immortal shortly. The queens are crucial here, but of course he might be able to fight very nicely between the bases. There might be additional batteries added here, and of course this place will be very tough for the Zerg to engage. Additional roaches, basically Protoss player doesn't lose anything at the moment. He's just adding additional batteries at the moment. But the Zerg, of course, the Zerg numbers are growing, still growing, even quicker than the Protoss player is killing them. So now it's important to not lose Immortals, because they are very costly. They're very expensive. You don't want to lose them. So now the three Immortals, quite the firepower. I don't think the Zerg can actually do much against it. He has to kill the robotics facility. That's his only choice. And he doesn't do it because the Protoss player actually is the Protoss player, the luckiest man alive, and he manages to save, to manages to keep this a little longer. Loses Immortal to drones, which is unfortunate. A Warpism cannot be everywhere, but the three Immortals, we cannot forget, quite a firepower still. Doesn't lose any Immortals just now. Regenerating them quickly, and it's 2-1 for him. He succeeds. It's GG. Welcome back. It's our fourth game of this series so far on Light Shade, and this guy spawning as a red Protoss player. It's Spats. His opponent playing as a blue Zerg. It's Solier. So of course, two very powerful players, high GMs, struggling to win a game against each other. For now, Spats is leading by one map. No, uh, no one base pressure this time. So a very diverse set of strategies from both players for now. The third base is being built here as the natural expansion is being blocked by this probe. Very common strategy these days. I feel like Zerg players got used to seeing this so much that they are basically doing third, ba third base expansions only. They don't take their natural because they know they're expecting like three cannons and a robotics facility here, so they don't take this expansion. Just now Nexus is starting. Cybernetics core. So of course Very natural start from both players, except that the Zerg didn't take his natural expansion. He might take it as his third. A little bit of tickling and some harassment with a probe. This drone was under heavy pressure. The probe was saying not nice words, was saying ugly words to this drone. This drone has actually uh, started losing its will to live. And of course, this drone is just now regenerating. The Twilight Council is the decision that Spats made. So of course, I hope the dog is not being heard too loudly. Okay, so now the second gateway on the way. Robotics facility is the choice, and the glaives. So the adepts with glaives will have their place in this game. As you guys can see, third base as a natural, just as I predicted. An oracle. So for now, of course, additional drones and a roach warren. So of course, additional thing that we see that is quite common. Of course, roaches are the option. We don't see a heavy Zerling count. We don't see Bailing Nest for now, but the Adepts will be an option. We see how well he exchanges with his units. Three gateways are just now exchanging, transforming, more accurate verb. Links are being killed just now. And the 4 Adept Warpism with 4 Adepts will make its way across the map. Quite a few army in production for our Zerg player. So of course Zerg is anticipating his opponent's moves. Additional Adepts warped in just now. And the shade is crucial here. And he doesn't commit, of course. He probably waits for the numbers. What's his choice? He goes with his sneak attack for the third expansion. He actually doesn't react too much. Now he might shade in with his bigger force. 7 drones have been killed, so a nice damage for now. He's quite ahead with probes. I mean spats. He has mostly added, so of course he will need some anti-armor units. Forge and robotics bay. So there will be some. Oh boy, there is a links. There is a flood of links. The wall have fallen, and now the gates of fire have been opened for the Zerg. Now those Zergs are actually feasting on those probes, killing quite a few probes. So this counterattack have proven to be extremely useful, probably turning the tides of battle, which were going not to Zerg's favor, and it's a GG. Game is tied. The series are tied once more. Welcome back to this best of seven, guys. The series have been tied, so this best of seven, of course, as you guys can subtract seven, uh, four from seven, you get three, and it's this best of seven have turned into best of three. So basically, I can do it like this, but I won't. I won't do it. It's a best of seven. It will stay best of seven. Not for you guys just to know that there is basically the same number in maps. I was just doing an educational segment so that you guys can know some can learn something from this commentary, and of course it's a valuable lesson for you guys. I hope I didn't forgot to. No, I haven't. Basically, I switched it on the loading screen. This probe just now. This probe didn't block the hatchery, so it's a difference, slight difference. Expansion before the cybernetics core, so it's economy first, spawning pool. So some pooling might be able. Easy map to actually wall with Protoss. Mining quite a bit of gas for now. Game is very steady. Game is very steady. Both players developing their economies, building up their armies, or maybe armies not at the moment because of course economy is needed for army to maximize the efficiency of this process. Stalker as the first unit, so slight difference. Double gas mining. I wonder what's the choice of Spats, or maybe he didn't make a choice, or maybe he did make a choice because of course because those kind of players usually play strict build orders, so everything is planned. Twilight Council, so there will be a counseling possible for the Protoss player. He will gather his elders and he will decide what the build order to choose. Very nice decision. Very, I think, very open-minded decision. Now the gateway. Uh, so it's actually, so he's actually doing everything for now, but the decision will be he might choose the upgrade because it might look for now like it's there are two. He's not gathering too much gas at the moment. He's just now hitting 100 gas. Glaive adepts might be his choice. Very powerful and very usual. I think very popular as it was as I remember the strategy that got Serral out of the Intel Extreme Masters. Additional gateways, War Prism. Of course, the choice will be the choice as we want adepts to be warped on our opponent's side of the map. I'm just explaining basics, of course, not comment. No, it's not commentary. We all know it, of course. We are all professionals here in the crew. That's basically what this clan is all about. Professionals being even more professional during as the time goes and we practice. So the glaive will finish shortly. 5 gateways, not too many, could have been more. So of course he might have some minerals to spare for some potential expansion or maybe different types of units. He shades his adepts across the creep. So of course the Zerg retreats. One adept in War Prism loses quite a few shield. He builds Immortals, has 4 gases. So it's interesting, definitely, because it might look like he wants to go for some more gas-heavy composition. Okay, so he might be able to kill a few more drones, but it's not gonna happen now. Blink on the way, Immortals, and a third expansion from Spats from a red Protoss player who will look for some more damage with those adepts. Of course, the War Prism and the Observer just now arriving, so possibility to clear the creep. And the thing is that it's just recently have been marked as a light, so adepts of course can kill it very quickly, can deal very decisive blows. And now the Observer has been sniped, so unfortunate for the Protoss player who's unable to clear creep. A little bit of a tongue twister for start. Only 2 drones. I wonder if it will be a recall or he will try for some more damage. Looks like the Zerg is now will be just now prepared for more of this. Additional robotics facility, robotics base, so we might see some Colossi or Disruptors if Spats is feeling good, is feeling tricky, and then wants to build some Disruptor balls. Of course, the Disruptors might be the the powerful option here, as there are more and more roaches arriving. Okay, so 4 adepts. I wonder what will be the control of those adepts. Will it be the AI control, or will that be a diamond control? I don't know what's worse. 10 drones on the way, double Colossi production, so it will be a gigantic army. A dry joke, I'm sorry. Quite a few links on the location, or additional roaches from both sides. I'm not sure what Zerk is trying to achieve with this, because there are quite a few models, but he will look for I don't know, some interesting flank. The 2 Colossi will enter the battlefield shortly, so the composition-wise it will be very hard for the Zerg. I wonder if Zerg is actually retreating, but it would be a very nice position for him to fight, because the Protoss would have to split his armies, but he didn't actually split it initially, so there was a time gap to strike as a Zerg. But of course, it takes a lot of time explaining it, and it's a very quick decision to make. So it's not as easy to make. Of course, it's a very hard decision. You don't want to lose your units too quickly, because the counterattack might be deadly to you. Some defensive cannons in case of Miras probably, or of course here as a counterattack, because they don't cost as much and they don't take supply, and you want to maximize this army's power. Quite a few Banes, but of course the jellies are actually blocking the path, so there isn't any space for the Zerg, for the green one. 18 Banelings morphing at this location. It actually might go both ways. The Zerg might lose, but it looks like super bad for Protoss, but it also Looks like okay. So we have probes in the middle of the map, actually waiting for a knight on a white horse to rescue them, but of course their links are gone, so they can continue their mining. So upgrades wise, it's very similar as you see. Both players are investing in those upgrades. I wonder why there isn't any defense upgrades, but of course there are different. The defense upgrade is not as important in this matchup, this particular matchup. You sometimes prefer to have a few more banelings than the upgrade, which will not do as much. So the fourth expansion has been destroyed. It looks like this is the killing blow by the Protoss player. But of course the Zerg will try to overwhelm this army with what he has. As he morphs more banelings. Looks like Protoss is safe at home. But does he know it? He probably doesn't, because he's not as decisive with the attack. Of course, hallucinations. He doesn't have an observer with his army, so he cannot clear and creep just now. Not stepping into biles too much, so for now it's so for now he's fine. As you guys saw, he has the blink ability, so of course his units are actually super undefeatable. You just can't kill them by any means. They're just gonna evacuate in the blink of an eye. Double disruptor production. So of course additional units there will be, and the Protoss doesn't react, losing a lot of probes. Connection might have been a bit better, but the important thing is that he cannot deal with those two colossi are actually massive. This conventional force, it actually continues to do damage. It's like, look at this guy, 51 kills, 52 kills, 40 kills. This guy like have like almost 100 kills. Imagine it. Imagine how much damage they have dealt to actually do it. Of course, they could have been just last hitting and but of course it's 3-1. Less theory, more practice. Proceeding with the next game. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And this guy is actually leading by one map after the the previous victory. It's a red Protoss player. It's Spats, and his opponent spawning as a blue Zerg player. Of course, Spanish Spanish Zerg player. It's Solier. So as you guys know, of course, it's a 3-1 score. So of course, both players won a few games. They both pose a threat to each other. So I wonder what will be the game on Pillars of Gold, because it's last or the next map will be the last one. Will be Oxide, which is the map I think both players dislike because they chose it as a last map. So a map that is less likely to be played. For now, some scouting. It looks like a base before cybernetic score. So it's what Spats is going for. For now, both players very steady game. Not many questions on the chat, or at least not any questions that I can answer because I don't understand Polish. I'm only English caster now. So now the prop is placing a pylon structure. Okay, so 4 links, some initial pressure. And Spats, for the first time in this tournament, goes for Stargate. Very interesting choice. I wonder why he decided to go on this map. Is it the map for Stargate? I'm not sure, but it might. But he didn't play it against Spazimazi. I don't think he played it. He might. I'm not sure if they played on Pillars of Gold. I'm not. I don't remember this situation. Oracle is being built just now. First adept on the map. Actually, two adepts, but they are retreating back home for some reason. I wonder why he didn't go across the map with those adepts. Of course, there is a link speed on the way, so he doesn't want to risk it. Now there is Overlord will be the target, and Twilight Council is in Protoss base. Now the double queen thing is the option. So the Oracle will fly around for now, looking for some potential lonely guys to pick off. So the queen has been caught in a stasis. She will have some time to rethink her actions. Bailing nest has been placed. Lair on the way. Second gas, so it's one gas for now. And a drone has been caught in a stasis. So of course, not too much damage. Not too much mining time has been lost. But of course, there was a little bit of mining time because of the pooling. and glaives. So he now goes for glaives. I'm not. I'm sorry for this slang, but it was just one oracle from Stargate. I'm not sure if it's the, and it actually didn't do anything for now. But of course, the Stargate is the building you might like to build in later. So I don't think it's a missed call, but probably not the thing he was hoping for with doing this strategy. He has advantage in workers, which is alarming. As you guys see, quite a few banelings, roaches. It's interesting, but the banes connect really well. Actually, they connect extremely well, and now the Protoss player doesn't have any units left, at least on this side of the map. And he immediately goes for a counterattack, which is a bold move. It might prove to be the right call, but for now he's caught by the jellies. The nice force field by his opponent that it actually might prove myself to be wrong. Proves me wrong because of the counterattack wasn't effective at all. Killed 2 probes and basically that was it. And now Protoss player is still advantageous. Double immortal production. Robotics bay. So of course technology wise Protoss player is killing it with his powerful red lasers. The Zerg will try to eat his way through Protoss defenses, but Protoss is just now losing Oracle after killing two drones, probably not the damage he was looking for. Glial reconstitution is being researched. So now the roaches will move faster on the basically everywhere. They will be roachlings. They will be quick as roachlings. He's decimating this Grox thing. And now additional gateways are actually being added. And a bunch of cannons to actually enforce this, to actually make it even more powerful. Those Banes will look for a lucky hit, but the only one who's lucky here is a Protoss player. So, or not the Protoss player. Protoss players are actually quite good, but Protoss is basically the you know what I meant. Okay, so he's looking for a lucky shot. Will he find it? I'm not gonna spoil anything or tell you guys too much because of course I'm as you previously know, I can predict stuff, and I think that there will be not too many probes killed. That's my bold prediction. Signs on the map indicating that there is a hallucination, wandering across the map looking for some information. Okay, so there isn't anything for you guys to that you would see that would according to my predictions. Okay, so there weren't too many kills. Here were a few more, but still the important thing is that the Protoss has the powerful army that the Zerg can do little to. Additional, no, he doesn't come, or he actually reassures his warping. He must watch out for these corruptors, but I think it was a mistake by Solir, but the reaction wasn't quick enough by Spats. Fifth expansion, fourth expansion here actually, fifth expansion is being destroyed. So now there is this rolling force, this rolling green force, rolling across the map, trying to catch someone. But of course Spats is reacting on time. Now they are doing a little bit of catch me thing. And there might be quite a few kills. Now there wasn't. So basically Solir wins this cotton run fight. For now, he's grilling Zerg quite well, so he might invite us for a barbecue in some time. And now there is this massive, gigantic bailing force, but of course the jellies provide Protoss with defense, so the jellies won't connect because of the jellies. But it looks like it might be it. It might be Spats might be the champion here. Now he's splitting his stalkers. The Colossus will be killed by this adventurous queen. But still, Spats has the numbers and he succeeds. He wins. And my predictions were right. Thanks everyone for watching. Spats has defeated Solir 4-2. And this is going to be all. Thanks guys for watching.